Hello and welcome to Natural Wonders. I'm going to do a painting for you today, and it's going to be a painting of Scotland. It's a painting from the video which I did and my holiday. So I'm really looking forward to doing this actually. It's going to be a real pleasure to do it for you all, and I've got all the memories fresh in my mind, so I'm just going to run the colours that you're going to need to do this painting across the screen for you all, and let's get stuck in. This is just a quick sketch that I've done on the canvas. Just wanted to show you it first before we start the painting, because I'm going to be going over this with liquid white, just so that I've got a basic idea of where I'm wanting everything to be. For instance, my river, the beach, the main rocks, the grassy areas either side, the hills that are going up, everything's in there. It doesn't need to be detailed, it just needs to give me them basic things. Hi YouTubers, today I'm going to be sorting this painting out. We've got all those colours on this palette, pulled them out with a palette knife, got an even distribution down there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start off with a 1-inch brush. Now I want the smallest amount of blue just there on the palette, and the smallest amount of alizarin crimson. Just alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, and then black. Don't want a lot of colour. Hope it stands out on camera, but I really don't want to have a lot of colour for this guy. I want it to be quite greyish, because that's what it was like there. It was a misty day, really misty. So just up in the top of here, just want to use little crisscross strokes, blend a bit of that lovely colour in there. Start at the very top first, using those X strokes, exaggerate that all the way along the edge, and you'll get a lovely blend. And then I actually come a bit lower and then leave some nice light area on that horizon. Quite misty, you see, so it wants to be light on the horizon. Right, blend that out so it's an even graduation. Excellent. Now I'm just going to get a clean brush, make sure there's no hairs on it or nothing, and then I'm just going to blend that out, that colour, get rid of any brush strokes that you can see in it, because I want it to be a flat sky basically, a nice flat sky in there. Something about like that, and then same in there. Always using them crisscross strokes, because that's how you get the nice blend. Using those strokes that go against each other, otherwise you'll end up with brush strokes showing in there. Sometimes I do it intentionally, and I like a brush stroke here and there, but the majority of the time I want a nice even blend, just like that. And that's more or less going to go white on the horizon there. Again, it's a good stage to just step back, a look from a bit of a distance. Just going to blend it out a tiny bit more evenly, a bit more pressure in these dark areas. There. There. Same over here. Sometimes you can distribute it a bit more evenly by applying a bit more pressure. And gently, just going to wisp right over all of that. Nice and soft. There we go. Hope you guys can see that on film. Just about, yeah, that's cool. Like I said, I don't want it dry, I want it quite muted. Now, Let me go to my fan brush, and I can still see everywhere that I've actually drawn with the pencil. So what I've done is I've just put a small amount of liquid white over this area. If you put it on very thin, it won't destroy what you've drawn. If you put it on too thick, it will destroy it, and if you blend too much, it will as well. So just put a small amount and blend it everywhere on the canvas. And then, like I've said, I'm going to come back with some different colours now. So I'm going to first of all just use yellow ochre, raw sienna. Raw sienna is similar to yellow ochre, as you can see, but they've both got a tiny different twang there. And then to that I'm just going to add a little bit of white, some white. These Scottish hills at this time of year, I've got this lovely glow on there. Again, a bit more of the other colours. Blend that into that. There. Let's try that somewhere near what we're after. First of all, I'm just going to go along the top of this mountain and just apply some of this colour. Check it first. Maybe just going to get, I always check it like I just did. I'm going to get a bit of Van Dyke brown. In fact, that's the Van Dyke brown. I'm going to get a bit of Van Dyke brown. I'm going to mix that to it, just as a duller, so it's not quite as bright as it was. And then put a bit more white to that. Always adjust it first, don't just stick with what you first went with. If you're not quite happy, just change it. Now I can mix between the two, you see. Van Dyke brown's good duller when you're using these colour tones. Now also, I'm just going to use that, and that's better. That's a much better colour. Just in the light areas really. So I'll work out how this goes. There's a steep area just there. I want to stay true to the shape of this. Keep the top the same as it is in real life. So it's very important to me to not go above where I need to be. There, just apply a bit of that colour in there. Now I know it needs to be higher than it is. I started lower than I needed to be intentionally. I don't want to go too high up in there yet. Let's get a nice little top on it. Takes it up to about there. That's right. And it just comes down and sits itself behind this. This will be in front with this part. There. Put some of that highlight colour in there. You notice I'm putting the highlight in first, and then afterwards I'll put the darks in for this mountain. Slightly different way of doing it. That's all. And then over there we've got a few bits coming in. Just want to mark out an area. This part's in front of this back bit. So what I want to do, I'm just going to keep that in mind and use angles just so that I'm always aware of it as I'm painting it. See how before when I was being aware of the top edge, it's nice as well because with this colour it's actually mixing with the pencil, and it gives you like a shadowy effect for the tops without even doing nothing. So sometimes using pencil can be a blessing in disguise. Don't always do it as you see, in the majority of the time I just do it freehand. But when it's something like this, which I'm wanting to be accurate with, I like to do a drawing. And I did some sketches while I was in Scotland as well. It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Follow down at that angle there. paper's making a funny noise as I touch it, but I don't mind. Now, there's a rock just in front of that there, so I'm just going to put this colour just in there. And I'm going to be careful to go around that part. Touch up in there sometimes, just pick a bit of that colour up, and then you can go back down into there. It'll dilute it slightly, because I want it to be pretty muted at the moment. There we go. Just want to keep that shape of that darker edge, because it's going to be quite a bit darker, is it? There. Something about like so. And then just in here we've got some of this colour as well, but I'm going to put a bit of green over the top of it afterwards. But for the moment I'm just putting some of that colour in there. Now I'm using one corner of the brush to blend and one corner of the brush to apply colour. See that? Apply the colour and then use the other side, which is good for blending because there's not much paint on it. I like to do that a lot. It makes your life a lot easier. See if you can see this on camera okay. I'm just going to zoom in for you guys a bit so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. There. Right. Again, the same colour. And then just in here I want to put a few bits there. This colour. There's going to be some rocks in there mainly. Some boulders and rocks. First, when you put it in, don't kill all the lighter areas. I'm retaining a lot of them. Just wanted to get a bit of that colour in there. Same again, it's going to be quite a bit darker afterwards. Normally you go light over dark with oil, but for these types of hills, I find this the easiest way to do it. That actually goes up to the waterfall. Just in there. Now I'm actually going to be using alkali gel mediums with this as well. It's a nice thing just to make the darks dry a bit faster and stuff. I'm going to also probably put some in with the light colours as well. A few darker little areas in. Now there's an area where that rock goes there. I'm just working it out in my own mind. There's an actual area where there's a bit dark behind, so I'm going to put that fan brush down just for the moment. I'm going to use two fan brushes. One for a lavender colour, a grey lavender, so blue, crimson and the black, but mixed with white. So it's not a very dark lavender. There we go. Let's see there. I'm mixing that. A bit more black to it. It's a bit more like so. Now, just up in here, there's an area where this hill actually comes down. I'm just going to get the very top shape of that perfect now first before I do that. A bit more rounded just up on the top. I didn't come up high enough really. Better. That's more like it. See, at first if you don't get it, you step back and you will see little things here and there that need to be altered. Again, it's always good for me to just keep it on a gander. So, now with this shadow colour, like I said, I want this to come down and in front. So there's some shadows just on the right hand side, left hand side, because the light's coming down in this direction, hitting this side. I need a bit more white with that. Went too dark. I'm just going to mix a bit of white with it there. See how you end up with different shades, which is a good thing, because it's all adding variety. Let's try that. Should be a bit better. Yeah, that's that. Some good shadows in there. Being a bit sporadic. And this shadow's actually, once you run out of a bit of paint, I'm just going to go up here and put that shadow on that edge. Just in there. That's it. And also just on this upper side, some shadows. You're going to leave the light areas in between on this edge. Now, behind there, there's a few little bits and bats going on. And then from here, we have, just checking the shape of it, it comes along and then down. Yep, just like so. Now I can go back to the brush with the other colour on, and I just want to touch into that a bit to make it look natural. That's the one. Not too big a problem, I don't want to mess it up a bit anyway. Just up in that back area with a few little spots, shadows just going on in there. That's the one. See, some lovely little shells going on in there as well. All these ridges and stuff need to be in. Don't put them in too dark and don't kill all the light areas that you've got in there. Leave some of them showing. Pull through a little bit there first. And then put that back over the top. Try to work out where the shadowed areas are. Like I say, it's on the left hand side mainly. Put a few little darker spots just on that. That's another separate layer as well there. Now, one there. A longer one that comes from up there right through. Again, you'll start being able to use one side for blending, one side for applying the pigment, the colour. Leave some a little bit darker, some a bit lighter. Now, just in here, I'm going to actually paint it dark with this lavender, and then we're going to highlight over the top afterwards. I'm going to be delicate because we've got this hill sloping down. Tap that gently into that light colour. where these rocks are going to be on here. There's an angle that the rocks actually go at. So if I'm using the fan brush at that particular angle, make my life easier. So, taking it about like so. I'll leave that area a bit lower down, a bit lighter, because there's grass growing on that. Just leave it that tiny bit lighter. And then this highlights on top of that rock. I don't want to kill all that. Lovely rocks just coming down here. And then a few little shadows just in there. Now the waterfall itself, I want it to actually have dark behind it. You can even go darker still in these areas, but I'll be careful and always go back, you see. And then this dark comes over and touches this. This is for this rock, which is going to come in front of there, quite a bit darker. Like I said, I've still got them piles of light and dark, so now I can go to this darkest shade, and I do want it a lot darker for this. I'm just going to, where that rock's going to be, paint it in darker. Something about like so, and then I'll blend back from that. Shadows. See, this is going to be about that same darkness, these strips in there, but darker and darker. Yeah. Blend that back. There's just enough liquid white on there. You don't want too much, otherwise it'll make this colour go too light. Now I can see there where the trees are going, so let me just stay behind that. Put some rocks in there, leave some white, shall we? Now I can also, with this, make sure that I get a similar darkness to this area here. This needs to be the same as this, as it's the same distance, you see. Good thing about wet on wet, if you get it too dark and you put liquid white on, you can just blend into it. It'll get slightly lighter. It's a big bonus. And a bit more dark area in there. Now, I want to put some black and brown into this as well at some stage, but for now I'm just wanting to use this colour on its own. I'll put maybe a bit more black with that, just so it's a bit duller and not quite as vibrant or as bright. There, got a few darker spots into that, and blend that back. So there's some rocks going on just up in there. So it will mix slightly with the liquid white on there. We want it to use it as your friend and not your enemy. Start mud mixing and stuff to people and worry about it a lot. You shouldn't really do that. You shouldn't worry. Just find a way to resolve what's happening. Usually it's small little things, tiny things.